This winter isn't just cold, it's downright bizarre. Forecasts for 2025 are sounding the alarm. Brutal deep freezes are set to hit parts of the US and Canada that usually dodge the worst of winter. And here's the harsh truth. Most people aren't ready. If you're not prepared, you could be left freezing in the dark without power, heat, or even food. That's not hype, it's reality. I've spent weeks digging through FEMA guidelines, government reports, and the latest weather predictions, and what I found is alarming. The risk of extreme cold events this year is higher than anyone's talking about, and the consequences could be deadly. In this video, I'm breaking down 9 FEMA-approved survival items every household needs before the first snowstorm hits. These aren't the obvious things like blankets, these are the game changers. Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss critical updates. Let's get into it. Time is running out. Emergency thermal blankets, your shield against the cold. When winter storms hit and the power goes out, the cold doesn't just creep in, it takes over. Your home, once a warm sanctuary, can turn into an icebox faster than you'd expect. Heat escapes through every crack, windows, doors, even walls. That's why one of the most underrated yet essential items FEMA recommends is the emergency thermal blanket. You've probably seen these before. Those shiny, crinkly silver sheets that look like they belong in a space movie. They're lightweight, compact, and let's be honest, not the most glamorous thing you'll own. But don't let their appearance fool you. These blankets are designed to reflect up to 90% of your body heat back to you. They don't generate heat. Instead, they trap the warmth your body is already producing, creating a barrier between you and the freezing air around you. This isn't new technology. It's been trusted by hikers, rescue teams, and even astronauts for decades. If it's good enough for NASA, it's more than good enough for your living room during a blackout. Real-world examples prove their value. During the Texas freeze of 2021, one family stranded in their car overnight survived because they had thermal blankets in their glove compartment. It wasn't comfortable, but it kept them alive until help arrived. Here's the catch. Not all thermal blankets are created equal. The cheap ones tear easily and won't hold up when you need them most. FEMA advises investing in high-quality insulation blankets or heavy-duty emergency sleeping bags that use the same reflective technology. These are small, lightweight, and easy to store in your car, closet, or even under your bed. Think of them as your heat insurance policy. When the furnace dies in the middle of a brutal winter night, do you want to rely on a hoodie and a prayer? Or would you rather have something designed to keep explorers and soldiers alive in far harsher conditions? A $5 investment today could be the difference between comfort and crisis tomorrow. 2. Backup heating source. When the grid fails, be ready. Imagine this. A snowstorm barrels through your area, knocking out the power grid. Suddenly, your house goes silent. No hum from the furnace, no warm air blowing through the vents. Just an eerie, bone-chilling quiet. The temperature inside starts to drop, and before you know it, your home feels like a freezer. This isn't just uncomfortable, it's dangerous. That's why FEMA emphasizes the importance of having a reliable backup heating source. Here's the reality. You can't depend on a single heating system. When power lines freeze, furnaces fail, or natural gas supplies are disrupted, you need a plan B. Whether it's a propane heater, a kerosene heater, or a properly ventilated wood stove, having an alternative heat source can mean the difference between survival and disaster. Let me share a story to drive this point home. During the 2013 ice storm in Ontario, Canada, hundreds of thousands of homes were left without power for over a week. Some families had backup propane heaters and managed to stay warm. Others didn't, and ended up huddling in overcrowded community shelters while their pipes burst and their homes turned into frozen wastelands. The difference wasn't luck. It was preparation. But here's the thing. Backup heating can be dangerous if used incorrectly. Every winter we hear tragic stories of families trying to stay warm with grills, gas stoves, or unventilated heaters, only to fall victim to carbon monoxide poisoning. That's why FEMA stresses pairing any alternative heating source with a carbon monoxide detector. Ventilation is non-negotiable. Warmth isn't worth your life. Think of a backup heater like a fire extinguisher. You might not use it often, but when you need it, nothing else will do. A small propane heater stored safely with a couple of fuel canisters can keep you warm, calm, and safe while the storm rages outside. And don't forget to stock up on fuel. A heater without fuel is as useless as a flashlight without batteries. Investing in a backup heating source isn't about luxury, it's about survival. When the grid lets you down, you'll be glad you planned ahead. 3. Carbon monoxide detector, the silent killer's worst enemy. When the furnace dies and the temperature drops, people get desperate. They drag grills into their living rooms, fire up old propane heaters without checking ventilation, or run generators in their garages with the door cracked open, thinking it's safe. And then without warning, a silent killer creeps in, carbon monoxide. You can't see it, smell it, or taste it, but carbon monoxide can put you to sleep and never let you wake up. That's why FEMA insists that no home should face winter without a carbon monoxide detector, and it better have a battery backup. Here's a chilling reality check. During the Texas blackout of 2021, hundreds of people ended up in hospitals, not because of the cold itself, but because of carbon monoxide poisoning. Families were burning charcoal indoors, running cars in closed garages, or using faulty heaters. Many thought they were being careful. They weren't. Some didn't make it out alive. And the worst part, all of it could have been prevented with a simple, affordable device. A carbon monoxide detector is your first and only line of defense against this invisible threat. When the air turns deadly, it screams an alarm, giving you precious time to act, whether that means opening windows, shutting off a faulty heater, or getting your family out of the house. But don't forget the battery back. When the power goes out, your plug-in detector is as useless as a dead flashlight. Here's the blunt truth. Most homes either don't have a carbon monoxide detector or have one with dead batteries. Don't be that person. A $10 piece of plastic on your wall could be the reason your family wakes up tomorrow morning. Think of it like this. You wouldn't go camping without a smoke alarm near the fire. So why would you face a dangerous winter without guarding against a gas that claims lives every single storm season? Preparation isn't optional. It's essential. A carbon monoxide detector is one of the easiest, cheapest ways to protect your family during the coldest, most dangerous nights of the year. Don't wait until it's too late. Install one today. Check the batteries. And sleep a little easier knowing you've taken a critical step to keep your loved ones safe. 4. Backup power solutions. Your lifeline when the lights go out. The scariest part of a winter blackout isn't just the darkness. It's realizing how much of your life depends on electricity. No lights, no heat, no way to charge your phone and your fridge. It's now just a glorified cooler with food spoiling faster than you'd think. This is why FEMA stresses the importance of having a reliable backup power source. Picture this. It's mid-January, and a snowstorm has knocked out power across your entire neighborhood. Every house is pitch black except one. Through the windows you see a faint glow of light, and outside, the steady hum of a generator. Inside, that family has heat, their fridge is running, their phones are charged, and they're staying connected to emergency updates. Generators are a game changer. They come in various types: gas, propane, or dual fuel options. But not everyone has the space or budget for a full-size model. That's where portable power stations come in. And no, I'm not talking about those tiny phone chargers. I mean the new generation of solar-powered or rechargeable power banks. These compact devices are powerful enough to run small appliances, medical equipment, or even a space heater. During California's rolling blackouts, sales of these portable power stations skyrocketed as people realized they needed a quiet, gas-free backup option. These devices aren't just about convenience, they're about survival. When the grid goes down, staying connected can save lives. You need to call for help, check weather updates, and sometimes just keep your kids calm with a little light or music. A good power bank or generator doesn't just keep your devices alive, it gives you peace of mind. When the lights go out and the cold sets in, the real question is, will you be the one sitting helplessly in the dark or the one who planned ahead? Don't wait until the next storm to find out. 5. Emergency food and water. The basics that keep you going. When a winter storm hits, grocery store shelves empty faster than you'd believe. We've all seen it. Lines stretching out the door, people grabbing the last loaf of bread, and milk vanishing in minutes. But here's the harsh truth. When a major storm locks you in, those shelves won't matter because you won't be able to reach them. That's why FEMA insists on having at least 72 hours worth of non-perishable food and safe drinking water on hand. Think back to the blizzard that buried Buffalo, New York in recent years. Roads were impassable, cars were stranded, and even emergency vehicles couldn't get through. Families stuck in their homes for days relied on their emergency supplies to stay safe. Non-perishable food doesn't have to mean boring rations. FEMA recommends calorie-dense options like peanut butter, canned meats, protein bars, and instant oatmeal. These are easy to store, require little to no cooking, and can keep your energy up when you need it most. And don't forget a manual can opener. Your electric one won't do much good in a blackout. Water is even more critical. Cold weather tricks people into thinking they don't need as much hydration, but your body still loses water, especially in dry, heated air. FEMA's guideline is 1 gallon per person per day. For a family of 4, that's 12 gallons for just 3 days. It sounds like a lot, but in a blackout, it disappears fast. And here's something most people forget. Winter can freeze your pipes. Once they burst, your tap water isn't safe anymore. That's why bottled water or sealed containers are essential. Some preppers even keep water purification tablets as a backup because melted snow isn't always clean. Food and water aren't just supplies, they're stability. They keep your strength up, your mood steady, and your family calm until the storm passes. 6. Winter clothing. Your last line of defense against the cold. When people think about winter survival, they often picture snow shovels or space heaters. But here's the blunt truth. Sometimes the only thing standing between you and hypothermia is the clothing on your back. And hypothermia doesn't just happen to hikers lost in the woods. It can strike in your own living room if the heat goes out during a long blackout. Think about how quickly the cold takes over. The power fails at midnight. You go to bed under your regular blanket, but by 3 a.m. your body temperature is dropping. Shivering kicks in, but it's not enough. You're losing heat faster than your body can produce it. That's why FEMA emphasizes the importance of proper winter clothing and layering. This isn't about throwing on a hoodie and calling it a day, it's about smart layers. Thermal underwear, insulated jackets, wool socks, waterproof boots, hats and gloves aren't just nice to have, they're life-saving. Once your core temperature drops even a few degrees, your muscles weaken, your mind slows, and frostbite becomes a real threat. Here's a story that proves the point. During the 1998 ice storm in Quebec, millions of people lost power, some for over a month. Families with proper winter gear, heavy coats, insulated sleeping bags, wool hats, managed to stay warm even without reliable heat, but others dressed in regular indoor clothes found themselves shivering uncontrollably within hours. Some had to abandon their homes and head to shelters. The difference? Preparation. And don't forget your extremities. Up to 30% of body heat is lost through your head and neck. Add in exposed hands and feet, and you're basically leaking warmth. A simple knit cap, lined gloves, and dry, insulated boots can make all the difference. Wool and synthetic fabrics are your best friends here. They keep insulating even when damp, unlike cotton, which holds moisture and chills you to the bone. One more thing, waterproof outer layers. Wet clothing can be as dangerous as no clothing at all. A good parka and waterproof boots aren't luxuries, they're shields. If you have to step outside to clear snow or deal with flooding, they'll keep you dry and warm. So picture this. The storm is raging, temperatures are plummeting, and your furnace is dead. Would you rather face that night in pajamas and slippers or in gear designed to keep Arctic workers alive? The choice is yours, and it could mean the difference between comfort and catastrophe. 7. Winter car emergency kit. Your roadside lifesaver. Winter storms don't just trap you at home, they can leave you stranded in your car, and that's where things can go from bad to worse in a hurry. Every year, drivers across the US and Canada find themselves stuck on highways when blizzards hit. Roads disappear under snow, engines stall, and suddenly your warm, comfortable vehicle turns into a freezing metal box. This is why FEMA strongly recommends that every car be equipped with a fully stocked winter emergency kit. Imagine this. You're driving home from work on a snowy evening. The storm intensifies, and traffic grinds to a halt. Hours pass, your gas tank is running low, and you're forced to turn off the engine to conserve fuel. Without a survival kit, you're left vulnerable to the cold. But with one, you've got the tools to make it through the night. So, what should go in your kit? Start with the essentials. An ice scraper and snow brush to keep your windshield clear when the roads finally reopen. Add jumper cables because cold weather is notorious for draining car batteries. Pack thermal blankets or emergency sleeping bags to retain body heat if your engine dies. Don't forget bottled water and high-energy snacks like granola bars, nuts, or jerky to keep your energy up. A flashlight with extra batteries is non-negotiable, and a small first aid kit is a must. If you live in areas prone to heavy snow, include sand or cat litter for traction and tire chains, if your roads require them. A small shovel can also be a lifesaver if you need to dig your car out of a snowbank. And don't overlook a phone charger or power bank to keep your devices alive for emergency calls. Here's a sobering reality. In December 2022, drivers in Buffalo were trapped in their cars for over 24 hours during a massive blizzard. Some didn't survive. Others made it through because they had blankets, food, and charged phones. This isn't just a checklist, it's a lifeline. Even short trips can turn into long, dangerous ordeals when winter takes over. Make sure your car is ready to keep you safe. 8 insulating materials and emergency shelter. When your home isn't enough, most people think of their home as their ultimate safe haven. But here's the harsh truth. In a brutal winter storm, even your house can fail you. Roofs collapse under the weight of heavy snow, windows crack, and heating systems shut down. When that happens, you need a backup plan. FEMA emphasizes the importance of weatherproof shelter and insulating materials. When your home's defenses weaken, your ability to improvise shelter can mean the difference between staying safe and succumbing to the cold. Picture this. An ice storm knocks out power across your neighborhood. Within hours, the temperature inside your home drops below freezing. Pipes burst, and your once cozy living room feels like a walk-in freezer. What do? Families who prepare know how to turn a single room into a survival zone. Heavy-duty tarps or plastic sheeting can seal off windows and block drafts. Reflective insulation, those shiny, foil-like rolls, can be taped to walls or ceilings to trap heat. Even hanging extra blankets over doorways can create a small heat-saving cocoon. Here's a real-life example. During the 2010 snowstorm in Virginia, some families lost power for nearly 2 weeks. Those who had plastic sheeting, duct tape, and tarps created warm zones inside their homes. They funneled everyone into one insulated room, blocked off drafts, and layered blankets on walls. It wasn't luxurious, but it worked. Portable shelters can also be lifesavers. FEMA and emergency responders often use weatherproof tents during disasters. Setting up a small insulated tent inside your living room might sound extreme, but it can trap body heat far better than an open space. For families with kids, turning that tent into a sleep zone can make a terrifying blackout feel more like an indoor camping adventure. Don't overlook the low-tech solutions either. Duct tape, extra blankets, and even cardboard can be game changers. Cardboard laid on floors prevents cold from seeping up, while blankets tacked over windows reduce heat loss. These aren't expensive fixes, but they're incredibly effective. The bottom line, your home isn't invincible. A winter storm can strip away comfort and safety faster than you think. But with the right insulating materials and a plan to create your own mini shelter, you can outsmart the cold and keep your family safe. 9 cold-specific first aid kit, fighting frostbite and hypothermia. When people think about winter survival, they usually focus on blankets, heaters, and food. But here's the blunt truth. Medical supplies are just as critical. The cold doesn't just make you uncomfortable. It injures, cripples, and in some cases kills. Frostbite and hypothermia are 2 of the biggest dangers in freezing weather. And once they set in, you need to act fast. That's why FEMA stresses the importance of a well-stocked first aid kit with cold-specific supplies. Let's talk about hypothermia first. It starts quietly. Your body temperature drops below 95 degrees Fahrenheit, and the symptoms creep in. Violent shivering, slurred speech, foggy thinking, and eventually an inability to move. If untreated, hypothermia can lead to organ failure and death. Frostbite is just as brutal. It targets your extremities, fingers, toes, ears, and nose, turning them numb and pale. Left untreated, frostbite can kill tissue, sometimes leading to amputation. These aren't rare wilderness scenarios. They happen in cities, neighborhoods, and even indoors during prolonged blackout. Here's a chilling example. During the 2021 Texas blackout, dozens of people ended up in hospitals. Not just for carbon monoxide poisoning, but also for frostbite. With no heat and freezing indoor temperatures, people fell asleep without proper layers. Some woke up unable to feel their hands or feet. A simple first aid kit with thermal wraps, hand warmers, and basic wound care could have made all the difference. So what should your kit include? Start with the basics: gauze, antiseptics, scissors, bandages, and over-the-counter pain relievers. Then add cold-specific items: instant hand warmers, thermal wraps, burn gel for frostbite treatment, and electrolyte packets to combat dehydration. Petroleum jelly or frostbite creams can protect exposed skin, and a thermometer can help you monitor body temperature if hypothermia is a concern. Think of your first aid kit as a fire extinguisher. You might not need it often, but when you do, it's the only thing that matters. A bandage, a heat pack, or a thermal wrap can stabilize someone long enough to get professional help. Winter injuries are sneaky and silent, but with the right supplies, you can fight back and protect your family. Preparation isn't just smart, it's survival. 10 communication tools. Staying connected when it matters most. When winter storms hit, one of the first things to fail is communication. Cell towers freeze, power outages knock out Wi-Fi, and suddenly, you're cut off from the outside world. In a crisis, staying connected isn't just a convenience, it's a lifeline. Imagine this: a blizzard has knocked out power in your area, and your phone battery is on its last bar. You can't call for help, check weather updates, or let your loved ones know you're safe. It's a terrifying scenario, but one that's entirely preventable with the right tools. Start with a high-capacity portable power bank. These devices are lifesavers when your phone or other essential gadgets run out of juice. Look for models with multiple USB ports and enough capacity to charge your phone several times. Solar-powered chargers are another excellent option, especially for prolonged blackouts. They're slow but reliable when there's no other power source. Next, invest in a hand crank or battery-powered emergency radio. These radios are designed to keep you informed when all other communication channels fail. Many models also double as flashlights and phone chargers, making them a versatile addition to your emergency kit. For those in remote areas, two-way radios or walkie-talkies are invaluable. These devices don't rely on cell towers, so you can stay in touch with family or neighbors even when the grid is down. Some advanced models include weather alert features, providing real-time updates on storm conditions. And don't forget the basics. Keep a written list of emergency contacts, local shelters, and important phone numbers. In a crisis, a piece of paper can be just as valuable as the latest tech. Communication tools are more than just gadgets, they're your connection to safety, information, and reassurance. When the storm hits, being able to reach out can make all the difference. 11. Hygiene and sanitation. Staying healthy in the cold. When we think about winter survival, hygiene and sanitation often get overlooked. But here's the truth: staying clean and healthy is just as important as staying warm. In a prolonged winter emergency, poor hygiene can lead to illness, which is the last thing you want when medical help might be hard to reach. Let's start with hand hygiene. In freezing weather, people often skip washing their hands because the water is too cold or they're conserving resources. But germs don't take a snow day. Keep a supply of hand sanitizer with at least 60% alcohol in your emergency kit. It's a quick and effective way to kill germs when soap and water aren't available. Next, think about waste management. If a storm knocks out your plumbing, you'll need a plan for dealing with human waste. Portable toilets, heavy-duty trash bags, and chemical waste treatments can help you manage this unpleasant but necessary task. FEMA recommends having a bucket with a tight-fitting lid, along with toilet paper, wet wipes, and disposable gloves. Feminine hygiene products are another must-have. Stock up on tampons, pads, or menstrual cups, and store them in a waterproof container. These items are often forgotten in emergency kits, but are essential for maintaining comfort and hygiene. Dental hygiene is equally important. A toothbrush, toothpaste, and floss take up minimal space, but can prevent painful dental issues. If water is scarce, consider using disposable toothbrushes or waterless toothpaste. Finally, think about staying clean without a shower. Baby wipes, dry shampoo, and no-rinse body wash are excellent options for maintaining hygiene when running water isn't available. These items can help you feel more human and less stressed during a prolonged emergency. Hygiene might not seem like a top priority in a winter storm, but it's crucial for your health and well-being. A little preparation can go a long way in keeping you and your family safe and comfortable. 12. Mental health and entertainment. Surviving the emotional toll of winter storms. Winter storms don't just test your physical endurance, they challenge your mental resilience too. Being stuck indoors for days, cut off from the outside world, can take a serious toll on your mental health. That's why taking care of your emotional well-being is just as important as stocking up on food and water. Let's face it, boredom and stress are a dangerous combination. When the power is out and the snow is piling up outside, it's easy to feel isolated and anxious. That's why having a plan for mental health and entertainment is essential. Start with activities that engage your mind. Board games, puzzles, and card games are excellent ways to pass the time and keep your brain active. They're also a great way to bond with family members and create a sense of normalcy in an otherwise stressful situation. Books and magazines are another fantastic option. Whether it's a gripping novel or a stack of your favorite magazines, reading can be a welcome escape from the harsh reality outside. If you have kids, include age-appropriate books and coloring supplies in your emergency kit. Music can also be a powerful mood booster. A battery-powered or solar-powered radio can provide not only news updates but also entertainment. If you have a portable speaker, download playlists or audiobooks to your phone before the storm hits. For those who enjoy journaling, a notebook and pen can be invaluable. Writing down your thoughts, fears, and plans can help you process your emotions and stay focused. It's also a great way to document your experience for future reference. And don't underestimate the power of small comforts. A warm blanket, a cup of tea, or even a small treat like chocolate can do wonders for your mood. If you have access to essential oils or aromatherapy, these can help create a calming atmosphere. Finally, prioritize human connection. If you're with family or neighbors, take the time to talk, share stories, and support each other. If you're alone, use your communication tools to check in with loved ones. A simple conversation can go a long way in easing loneliness and anxiety. Mental health and entertainment might not seem like survival essentials, but they're crucial for getting through the emotional challenges of a winter storm. By taking care of your mind as well as your body, you'll be better equipped to weather the storm, both literally and figuratively.